Go.
And we're live. All right. Welcome everybody to the probably like 20th take of the inaugural episode of our new podcast gaming channel.
Yeah.
It has not been without its technical difficulties to get to this point, but we're glad that you're joining us. I am Pat Brown. Would you like to introduce yourself, good sir?
Oh, and my name is Jacob Holstead.
Yeah. Welcome to Metagaming. So we're playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Basically, we're going to talk about spirituality while playing video games. And, Star Wars has always had that sort of spiritual feel to it, that essence of the Force, the greater unknown of the universe. And I feel like that's makes it a good game to start off with on this journey that we're going through. And we're going to be talking about spiritual themes of the game, as well as the book that we have chosen to read to liven up the topic, which is The Power of Now.
Do you have the book with you, Patrick?
I have the I don't have it with me. I didn't buy the book. I'm reading off of a free PDF I found. So
this is what it looks like. My green screen's kind of messing it up, but this is what it looks like. The Power of Now.
Yep. Pretty sure it was a New York Times bestseller, so if you Google it, you will be able to find it. But so we're going to be discussing that, probably just the first couple chapters in this first episode that we're doing. But let's get right into it. Let's start that new journey.
Here we go. Let's see here. I like things being very easy, so I'm going to go story mode. Definitely not a Jedi Knight Master or Grandmaster. So.
Not yet, but you will be when we're done.
All right, let's get this going.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Wow, that's a nice boat.
I like that. What's that? Those are some nice rocks.
They're so dominant. Those are easily the two best Owen Wilson wows.
What were they?
Wow, that's a nice boat, and wow, you're so dominant. I don't remember the context of the "you're so dominant" one, but you can use that in numerous ways, and I like versatility.
Absolutely. All Star Wars movies or video games apparently have to start off with a long shot of a ship flying.
That's what makes Spaceballs so great, is because of the first scene being just the never-ending spaceship zooming through.
Yeah, that's awesome. Though. Oh, look, like 50 ships, not only one ship. So a bunch of ships. Okay.
Everybody who's about to crash is like, Mayday, Mayday, let's crash right here.
Yeah. Oh my god, what is that? Are those tentacles, bro? Is that thing alive?
That's a robot. It's a...
Oh, look at that.
I don't remember what type of it is.
Tentacles coming out of the ground. I don't know what that
was. Out of the ground? Yeah. There's like some weird tentacle hentai monster living in the sea in this world, apparently.
So I guess that's going to come into the story later somehow? Are you going to narrative?
I'd be like, maybe I'll let you see, but no, it literally, you see it once, and that's it. In this like opening sequence.
I don't know. Alright, so I'm assuming two main characters.
You can assume that, sure.
Okay.
An error has been detected on line 10A.
Cal is obviously Cal Kestis, the person that you're playing as, and he's one of the last surviving Jedi.
Okay.
Possibly the last one. I don't know. Well, obviously there's like Obi-Wan who's in hiding. And, I don't know a whole lot about like Star Wars canon, so I don't know exactly what's going on in this era, other than like the Purge just happened, so like most of the Jedi are dead. But, Cal is like one of the few that is still relevant, I guess, now that I'm pretty sure this game is official canon now.
Really?
Because,
okay.
I think so.
Did whatever studio that made Star Wars work with this video game developer, and they kind
I mean,
I
You
don't
know how
really.
like EA has the rights to making Star Wars games
Yeah,
because they make Battlefront and Battlefront 2.
yeah,
EA owns Respawn, and Respawn is the studio that made this game. And I guess just whatever deal EA has going on, they were able to, get resources they needed to be able to assist them in any way whatsoever.
okay,
I don't know. I didn't really look into the production of this
yeah,
game a whole
yeah,
lot.
yeah. I mean,
I was just like, oh, this looks like a combo of Star Wars and Dark Souls. I like. I'll do it.
yeah, yeah. I've never played Dark Souls still to this day.
Me neither. I played a little bit of Bloodborne, but not enough to say that I've like conquered anything
Yeah,
notable. Uh,
man.
I'll probably go back and play it at some point.
Do you ever get the ability to like do flips? I feel like that would be so satisfying. Like that ever
I
happened?
mean, you do get a double jump
Okay, that's nice. I
eventually.
wish you could. I wish. Yeah, I just wish because you're a Jedi. I wish you could like flip around. That'd be cool.
Yeah, the double jump it is like a little bit of a flip. I'm pretty sure when he jumps the second time. So
Sweet.
hopefully that'll satiate your desires.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds like it will. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I know you're a hard man to please, Bolstad. So
But a double jump would do it. All right, where am I going? What are we doing? I guess we're just. I mean, this is where I work. I guess so. I'm kind of whatever.
yeah, so Cal's in like hiding. He's just hiding from the Sith, the Emperor Empire, and he's just kind of like humbly working at this planet that is basically just like a junkyard planet, and the Empire comes here for resources. They like drop off. I'm guessing they drop off like a bunch of like damaged or destroyed ships, and then it's these people's jobs who work here to like take them apart and repurpose them to build more ships and whatever else the Empire might need.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I guess while you're just running through this area before we get into some more character building, obligatory exposition scenes,
Yeah.
I want to hear just your overall thoughts on what we've read so far on the Power of Now.
Well, I mean,
just to kind of like.
Yeah, I mean, just the opening thoughts. I really enjoyed how Eckhart Tolle how he talks. I think he's really able to express his ideas clearly, and these topics are not easy to kind of describe in words. So I just enjoy
It's tough stuff to wrap your head around, especially if you've like never read anything anywhere related to this stuff. Like if you don't really know a lot, or I mean, you don't really need to know much, but you need to, I guess, just like have an open mind and like be ready to hear some really like out there stuff and be open to it. And luckily I we both obviously. Oh, that was nice.
There we go.
Look before you leap.
Right.
We're both fairly open-minded people, I would say. So, and we're both obviously interested in spirituality, which is why we're doing this in the first place. So I think it's a pretty good launching point.
Yeah, and it was refreshing to listen to Eckhart Tolle after. I mean, nothing against Dolores Cannon; she's another author, but you and I both read her book, The Convoluted Universe, and that kind of got a little out there, and it was nice to kind of get away from that because that wasn't really what we were looking for. But I think this book, is more along the lines.
Yeah.
We're both.
This stuff definitely touches more on what the type of stuff that we want to talk about rather than whatever the fuck Dolores Cannon was talking about. That shit was whack. Not to discredit her, I'm sure she's, I don't even know if she's alive anymore, but she made a career out of what she was doing, and I'm sure she has believers out there, but not what we're wanting to discuss.
Right.
I'll get right into. Oh man, you're falling all over the place.
Yeah. All right. Let me take my time on this.
But before we get to what Eckhart Tolle says, there's a foreword written by Russell DiCarlo, and his foreword just kind of talks about he goes into 3 myths of Western society, and so the first myth that he has is humanity has reached the pinnacle of its development, I don't know who believes this myth. I don't know what he was thinking as including this into like a 3 myth thing. Because I don't think there's a person out there who thinks that humanity has reached the ultimate point that we will ever reach. So
Yeah.
I don't really understand why he thought that that was a necessary thing to include. So I don't even really think that's really worth discussing too much. So I'm gonna get right into the other 2 myths. We are completely separate from each other, nature and the cosmos. Um, One interesting thing about this is he spelled cosmos with a K, a capital K. And I Googled. Oh, actually, I'll go quiet here for a second. You can listen to the cinematic.
Yeah.
5.
Flew this, went down in a blaze of glory. Those Jedi. Real tragedy. Yeah, I've always said they couldn't all be traitors.
Yeah, maybe.
Guess it's just our lucky day. Empire's gonna get a lot of
That's gross.
Yeah.
So dusty.
Yeah. He's like longingly looking back at these like Jedi.
And the pay was better back during the Republic too.
You really should watch what you say.
Listen to me. Find us free like this, maybe you take it off this soggy rock.
What makes you think I want out of here?
Come on, Cal, you're a young guy.
I like the name Cal
Don't end up like me.
for a main character.
Do
Eventually,
you?
Yeah.
move on and live your life. Find
Is there
your
any
destiny.
particular reason?
I don't know. It's a good name. It's also the name of the guy who was. Well, just gonna be. Never mind. I was gonna hugely spoil. It's the name of one of the main characters in the Watchmen series as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a powerful character.
Gotcha. All right, yeah. I do need to go back and watch that. I actually forgot about that show.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Starts off maybe a little
Dude.
depending on what you were looking for out of the show. The last few episodes blew my mind, so I thought they were really good. Anyway, yeah, we're trying to like balance playing the game and talk about these topics. So kind of gonna pause for cutscenes and stuff, like we just did there.
It's still going. Still
Yeah.
in the process. Don't
Yeah.
jump the gun.
Yeah, getting ahead of myself. Oh, this guy's screwed. Use the Force. Okay, am I doing anything?
Oh, you stopped him from falling, but you didn't stop that thing from falling on him.
Yeah.
Useless.
Yeah, I could have done a little more.
There's the hentai monster. I'm surprised I've never asked you this before, Bolstead, but are you a fan of hentai?
It's not my favorite.
Not your thing? You're not
I've
really
seen it, I've seen it. I gave it a chance, but no, it's not. I'm the
You don't
best.
feel like a sense of erotica when you look at tentacles? I'm kind of surprised by that, honestly.
No, I appreciate like the art that goes into that, but it's just not my thing.
Okay. The art that goes into hentai.
Yeah, and just all the other genres as well on that. It is art, dude. But anyway, your thoughts on hentai?
My thoughts?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it exists,
Yeah.
but I'm not into it. But I'm glad that there's a lot of people that are, because I think it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This world is full of things like that. The hentai is definitely up there with the best of them. Very interesting concept.
One day you and I are going to have to talk about what the rest of the best of them are, because now you've got me curious as to what that is.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. For sure. Okay, so now he knows that Cal's a Jedi.
Yeah,
I've been working with you sometime.
basically.
Yeah.
I've never seen you do anything like that before. We've been through some hell together. So, I need the risk that you took for
Can you
me.
pause cutscenes? Then?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Actually, if you hit the start button, you might be able to. I can't remember. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You can't skip them though, which I found annoying.
Yeah, sure.
Because I played through it a second time, and it was really annoying not being able to skip through the cutscenes.
Right.
Disappear.
Just gonna head back to my place, grab my bag. Tappers owes me a favor.
They're all pretty good though. Like this is,
Up on,
I think the story in this game is better than any of the movies that have been released since like The Force Awakens.
Really?
Like I don't like. I did like The Force Awakens when it first came out, but seeing where that trilogy went, like I just hate all of it now. It ruined everything.
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
Yeah.
and I still haven't even seen whatever the last one is even called. It's like the Rise of Skywalker or something.
Yeah. It was okay. I just saw it actually. I kind of took my time watching it also, but it was
Mhm.
I thought it was decent. Like again, it kind of was that one was different. I thought. I mean, I don't know what other people are saying, but I don't think they kind of I think it was its own movie, but
Mhm.
maybe wasn't.
It had the task of having to retcon
Right.
the previous movie since it was so bad and wrap up a trilogy that
Yeah.
was so messily built up
Yeah.
at the same time. And like, no matter what you're trying to do, if you're making a movie in that context, it's going to fail story wise.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. I'm more of a I know like I'm more of a casual Star Wars fan. I don't know. Are you super into Star Wars?
I used to be back in like when I was like super young and the prequels were coming out and I was too young to realize how awful the prequels are. I was really into it, but it didn't really stick with me. So I'm pretty much just a casual Star Wars fan too.
Yeah.
But these are my favorite sequences in the game, or these like dream sequences. Like that.
Yeah, that was wild.
Imagine like those spaces are opening like the spaces in your mind opening
Right.
after
Yeah.
reading Eckhart Tolle.
Wow. What a parallel there. That was good. Maybe we should go back to Eckhart Tolle. We kind of got off topic.
Yeah, so Cosmos with a capital K is what I was about to get into.
Yeah.
I was curious to see why he did that, and so I Googled it, and the only thing I could find, like I couldn't find anything. The first thing that comes up is Cosmos Barbecue. So we are all one with the barbecue is basically what I guess this myth is trying to say. We think we are separate, but no, we are one with the barbecue. And on a more serious note, we like everybody has that like very obvious feeling of like, oh, I am a human, I am in this world, rather than like I came out of this world, not rather instead of I came into this world and I am a part of it. We all kind of feel separate from our environment and from everything. But one of the things that I like is that this book gets right into it right off the bat about how that is not the case and that identity is an illusion.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is an important scene, so maybe we should continue listening to this as well.
Okay. They're finding out Cal's identity here.
Yeah. Yes, we're spinning gold here. We don't even have to try to make the parallels happen.
Dude, words are just coming to me. It's just everything I say is just poetry. What can I say? we say we're a team here. I say. Apparently, I still have a pretty big ego.
Yeah, you do. That's why you still say I and not
right.
I am the universe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, it is. That is when you lose your ego. You say we.
I think it's time for me to move forward.
I don't know if that's the case, but I'll roll with it. Sure.
Yeah.
I've been working on this heap a long time. Way before the war.
Or maybe when you lose your ego, you just have a different definition of the word I. You just don't,
Best in the galaxy.
at the very least.
I think that's more like it. Now you're getting it. Now you're enlightened. It's officially declared. You made it, Volstead.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Sensei, for bringing me to this point. Guru, or what do they
I
call
prefer the term senpai, not sensei.
it? I'll call you your senpai.
Too afraid to say it.
Please give me more wisdom.
The Empire.
Do you have a timer going on this? Do you know what timestamp we're at? Because I don't know how far along we are in this
I can
recording.
check it. Well, like we're 20 minutes in.
Oh, okay, cool. No, he's dead.
Yeah.
A lightsaber.
I found the Jedi!
I found a Jedi.
Ah, Savenya.
Who's that? I love stormtroopers. Dude. Just there, they like the worst authority figures ever.
Oh yeah, nobody in the world takes them seriously. Like you build your whole arm, like you are the Empire. You are the ultimate menace of authoritarian regime. But
Yeah.
your army is built up of the most non-threatening entities that have ever existed.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just a testament to the Emperor that he was able to take over with these plebs running his as his army. Like I mean, he must be real powerful if his army's this weak.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah.
I also just love how in this game, like, they actually miss you too. Like they will
Yeah,
miss
yeah.
often.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
Really true to form.
Oh, it was a double kill.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, so we're back to a gameplay segment. I guess we can get back into the meat of the spirituality talk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the third myth, we had the second myth being that we are separate from each other and nature. The third myth being that the physical world is all that there is. And you know, at this point in my life, I am convinced that oh shoot, you fell right down from that train.
Yeah. But not
Going
the-
off the rails on a crazy train, Volstead.
Yep.
But I am fully convinced that both of these are false, as he was saying, that they are myths. That that there is more to our reality than the physical world, beyond what we perceive, and that there is an inherent connection between us and everything in the universe. I firmly believe in both of those things. And so yeah, I just wanted to bring those up as things that were mentioned in the foreword. And you know, if you become a very disciplined meditator, you can kind of like discover that for yourself, or you can take mushrooms and psychedelics and you can be thrust into boundary dissolution, and that can be a like very eye-opening experience that spurs that realization upon you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that makes bringing that up. I wanted to ask you, if you're comfortable answering this, what was your experience like? Did you have any sort of boundary dissolution when you had your mushroom experience?
Yeah. So I have taken it's the only psychedelic I've taken. I did take mushrooms one time, and okay. And I guess I don't know if I experienced boundary dissolution. For me, it was a little more laid back. But there was some point where I don't remember where it felt like I was living in another time period, which was really weird. And then I kind of snapped.
What time period? Did you like suddenly think you were medieval?
Like I was thinking about something, but I was thinking in pictures, and it felt like I was in another time period. So it was akin to sleeping. You know, when you sleep, you dream. It was akin to that, but like I was still awake, and I had this. I don't know if that's like maybe I was just really deep in thought, basically, is what I'm saying, and I didn't realize it. And I thought I was in like the future, and I was telling my kids, like giving them advice about how to live.
Yeah, you told me about that before. About
And then I came to, and I was like,
you
wow.
wanted to talk to your kids about.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what I was telling them, but it was just weird because then I came to, and I'm like, wow, my God, I was like 20 years ago, or 20 years in the future, and now I'm back here. So it was just that was kind of weird. I'm not sure if it's cool, but
Wow.
or not.
You like
No.
you played the whole game of Roy and then came back.
Yeah, pretty much. I came back to the store.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
so that was the main thing. I mean, other than that, you can talk about like I kind of walked around a forest or like a park for most of my experience, and it did feel like the trees were kind of waving more than normal, and I felt a little bit like I was kind of in a part of something greater than me, I guess. A little bit. It was kind, but it was
Hmm.
kind of a very small feeling. It was kind of like the trees were kind
Yeah,
of waving at me. The trees seemed greener than normal, and
yeah.
so
Did it feel like the whole universe was like breathing
yeah,
in
yeah,
a
the whole
way?
universe was breathing. Yeah, the trees looked like they were breathing, and I could like feel them breathing almost. So,
Hmm. Yeah,
but
that's something that when Duncan Trussell and his podcast that I listened to a couple episodes for the first time yesterday, and that's something that he mentions is that like when you're like really tripping after taking a psychedelic, that like the you can kind of like feel the world around you breathing in a way, like the walls. Normally you look at a wall, it's just standing there, but like he could like feel and sense and see the walls moving and breathing around him, and that was pretty like profound.
yeah,
I've never taken any psychedelics. Want to, but I haven't had the opportunity yet, and I probably the only thing similar to that experience that I've had would be the first time that I ate an edible, which was also the first time I ever
yeah,
had anything with marijuana. I popped my cherry on edibles,
yeah.
and
Which
I like what?
which I mean, you can kind of experience similar effects on edibles too. Yeah,
Yeah, you can, and I think I did, and that was the only time I ever have. And I think it's because I had never done anything like it before that it had that profound effect on me. And I remember watching like some form of like Netflix Animal Planet thing.
yeah,
They have like a bunch of like Planet Earth stuff. I don't remember what one it was, but there was a tiger, and I just remember like seeing the tiger eating another animal,
yeah,
and like it's just massive, enormous teeth, and like I looked into its eyes and I felt like I was the tiger, and it was
yeah.
really, really weird. And like I empathized with that animal more than I've ever empathized with like animals other than humans before. It was just a really different way,
Yeah.
and yeah, I felt like really connected to that tiger, even though I wasn't even looking at a real tiger. It was just on my TV screen,
Right. Yeah.
and
I had something
but it
like
was
that.
pretty wild.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like stuff like that. Yeah, it's really cool. I kind of had that. I was looking at like a greeting card, and it had like I was looking at a greeting card, and it had a picture of a heart, and the heart had eyes, and it looked like in the mouth, and it looked like the heart and the eyes were just speaking to me. So I was like really, associating like this this greeting card and like speaking to it,
Uh
not speaking to it, like I was feeling it, as if it were a thing, because the colors were like jumping out of the card at me, and it looked like it was an
huh.
actual face, So it's just, which I mean, it kind of felt like it felt like a greater experience than just looking at a greeting card, whatever it was. It was really weird.
It was the most important greeting card you've ever seen.
Yeah, yeah. It was a heart, so like love, it's like the universe just loves you and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
Did you feel the love? Was there like a really like permeating feeling of just like, wow, I'm alive and the universe is like, it loves me and I love it, and love is like all there really is.
I mean,
Did
I
you get
didn't
a
have
sense
it
of that?
extreme, but I did feel like a harmony with the universe. I
Hmm.
not from the greeting card. The greeting card was just more of like fucking wild right now. But when I went outside and like was in nature, that was when I was like, wow, it's very harmonious. It felt like a deeper sense of love and acceptance of just things around you and the people around you. And the fact that they seem like more of the same thing, like objects and people seem like they're the same. Almost, they're very similar. They're more similar than you think. You think of they're two different things, like people and like rocks, but they kind of feel like it's all one. Like you
Hmm.
to a rock almost.
Yeah, that's
So
that boundary dissolution
yeah,
between you start to really feel that connectedness, and then like
yeah,
you can start that process of not identifying with your mind, which is like the number one tenet that Eckhart Tolle starts off with and really dives into is trying to stop identifying with your mind. And you know, it's a profound thing to realize that you don't have to identify with your mind, because you know everybody has just millions and millions of thoughts that are running through their head every single day, and we're so tied to our thoughts. We're tied to our past because you know our past has just given us this continuity. It's given us this route of identity that we've been able to experience. And so it's like, well, you know, I mean, human memory is a powerful thing. Of course we're going to identify with our memories and our past, because you know what else do we have?
Right.
And to finally realize that you don't have to do that. I love the sequence. I'm interrupting myself right now. I love the sequence because you know you in that forest dream, that like barrier that you're walking down, like you had a wall and then the wall expands and it just like slides forward, and it was like really similar to like what you're experiencing now, where you slid through the train doors and sliding through those train doors really quickly. And I don't know if that was like his dream, like foreshadowing, like was that a premonition, but just like a really vague premonition of what he was about to do? Was his forest dream like telling the future a little bit there?
Right.
I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is a cool parallel because
yeah, just Eckert has that realization himself of like, I don't have to identify with my mind when he says in the first chapter right off the bat, he talks about how he says, I cannot live with myself. But wait a second, if there's an I that cannot live with myself, which I am I? Why are there two me's, and why is one of them unable to live with the other one? And that realization, the way he describes it, it literally broke his brain. And his mind was blown to smithereens, barren rubble, ashes. And like a phoenix, he rose out of the ash and like was just suddenly in a state of bliss and awareness and peace. And he like did a complete 180 from the depressed, like I can't live with myself, I'm contemplating suicide, to just complete flip of the switch. I'm in total peace, and there's nothing I can do to make this peace and bliss any better than it already is, which is pretty fascinating if it's as you know, poignant as he's describing it. If it is truly the case.
Yeah, I enjoyed that line as well. That kind of blew my mind. Also, the realization that you have two different selves, and then you kind of think, what's the difference between the two? Yeah, so I had the same response or reaction to that line.
Yeah, it seems like the main thing on any type of like spirituality I've read into, it seems like, you know, trying to take yourself out of the deep-rooted identification that you have of yourself, like digging deep down and trying to find out where the roots of your identity and your like self conceptualized identity, it's like when you can dig up and evaluate that without judging it also, you know, impartially, just objectively separating yourself from what you think of yourself, which is a weird way to say it, but I don't know. It's a weird thing to even think about, but basically just identity is the root of it all, is trying to gain a sense of insight into what you truly are underneath what you thought you'd been your entire life. But we've got 2 minutes left in this recording, and I feel like even gameplay wise, this kind of lined up well because we just finished up this first sequence. So I guess do you want to call this one a video? I'd say this is a pretty solid first episode.
Yeah, I think so. Good. Yeah. Thanks for listening, and
yeah, we will continue the discussion in the next episode. We thank you guys for taking the time to listen to us. We'll definitely get into there was a lot of exposition, a lot of, you know, opening scenes to have to watch in this first one,
Yeah.
And once we really get into the nitty gritty of the game, there will be more time to truly discuss, you know, the spirituality that we're reading about and relate them to our own experiences and the game itself. So we're looking forward. It's only going to get better from here. Thank you guys for joining us.
We tracked
Yeah.
Imperial communications. We heard the
We'll
Inquisitors
see
were
you
heading
next
to
time.
Bracca.
All right. Peace out.
What's the bounty on Jedi these days anyway?
That's gratitude for you.
Look, I get it. You've been surviving on your own for so long that it's impossible to trust anyone. And it's what's kept you alive. But this is about something bigger than just surviving.
Like what?
Like rebuilding the Jedi Order.
You too? Anybody else?
Oh, we're not good enough for you?
The Jedi Council?
They're gone.
So I'm all you've got.
Captain, set a course for Bogano.
Aye.
In the meantime, try and relax. Go, you're safe. For now.
You gotta move on and live your life. Find your destiny. Calico!
You were talking in your sleep.